guys, Robot1 and Charmander here today. Yes, he is in the videos, and one day I hope he will evolve into a Charizard, so I will have the best Charizard in the land. He is clearly a Max IV Charizard with the timid stat block, so he will be the fastest Charizard out there as well. Hopefully one day he will evolve, but for now he is my Charmander, and he is with us today. So, guys, today we're going to be doing another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, I basically wanted to talk about different ways to play the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. And I really wanted to do this because the other day I made a video talking about different types of Yu-Gi-Oh, basically Rush Duel, Speed Duel, and normal Yu-Gi-Oh, and I felt like, oh well, I've made the video talking about that, so why not make a video talking about all the different ways you could potentially play Yu-Gi-Oh. So without further ado, I want to get into this. I want to talk about these different ways, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the video. Charmander, can we start? Sure! He says we can start. Alright, so let's get into this. So there are multiple different ways to play the normal card game, and the first way to play the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game is the normal way. Have the whole card pool in the game, go ahead and build your deck, play archetypes, play any amount of stuff, play extra deck stuff, play any hand traps, all of the galore. There are so many different ways to play normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Like literally, if you're watching this video, I have literally made videos talking about how to summon things. Gonna do more videos on that soon as well, doing about how to traps and how to spells, because I feel like I need to kind of make that as well. But the normal way of Yu-Gi-Oh is just the standard way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. You have 5 monster zones, you have 5 spell and trap card zones, 2 pendulum zones, main deck, graveyard, extra deck, all of that stuff. You draw 5 cards and everything along those lines. So that's normal Yu-Gi-Oh. Normal Yu-Gi-Oh for you can make all sorts of boards, draw 5 cards on your opening hand, and that's standard Yu-Gi-Oh. There's not really much to say outside of that. But that's really the first way and the normal way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I really wanted to get out of the way at the beginning because it's just normal Yu-Gi-Oh. I talk about Yu-Gi-Oh every day, so almost every day on this channel. 3 days a week on this channel. So I wanted to kind of like get that out the way at the start, you know. But yeah, so that's the first way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. The normal way, standard Yu-Gi-Oh, normal format. But there are many more ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh as well, and that's what we're going to be talking about mostly in this video. So the first way I wanted to talk about, if you wanted to try a different style of Yu-Gi-Oh, is the Pegasus Challenge. Now, the Pegasus Challenge was something that was introduced at YCS's a while back, where you had to basically play Yu-Gi-Oh with Maximilian Pegasus himself, his voice actor, telling you different rules, effects, cards happening at the start of the game, at the start of each turn or standby phase, and basically those effects were applied, those things were applied throughout the entire turn, and this could be something really fun to play. Now, I saw recently Simo do it in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Grand Championships, and I thought, like, well, bringing this back was really cool, and it's something that I kind of thought it was really interesting. And like, there are so many ways you could do this. Like, literally, you could have a friend to do this. If you've got 3 friends, you yourself and one other person, all wanting to play Yu-Gi-Oh, you could literally have one person on the sideline have like a random card generator on, and it's a really fun way to play Yu-Gi-Oh, because you literally have the random card generator on. They tell you the effect in the standby phase or whenever it is, and literally just say, right, for this turn, Dark Hole's in effect, destroy all your monsters, or for this turn, Necro Valley's in effect, you can't summon from the graveyard, you can't banish from the graveyard, you can't add cards from your hand to the graveyard. Literally any effects you want. Skill Drain's active on the board, all monster effects are negated, so everything has to be played as a normal monster. Or this turn, Ring of Destructions, one monster on the board has to be destroyed. Like that's something really cool, and I think is really interesting about this kind of way to play the game, because it means, oh, you could be playing any deck you want. Sure, you can play normal Yu-Gi-Oh along with this as well, but if you get hit by that one card at the start of your turn, say you played a whole combo board, and your Maximilian Pegasus, your third friend, says Dark Hole, well, you know that board you just made? Every card is now gone. Every monster is gone. All 5 monsters are dead, and you lose. Like that's kind of like the fun thing about this. It's a random challenge. Sure, someone's going to get salty. Sure, you could absolutely lose. It's fine. It's because of it's the fun of the game that sort of instance that is really cool and really fun, which I like. So Pegasus Challenge is just one of those other ways to play the game in general that's really cool and really interesting. Another way to play the game, though, is Highlander, something that I've kind of been thinking of doing myself with a lot of my friends, because I've not really playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Online for months on end has been absolutely boring. And yes, I've been back to Locals. Locals was honestly... playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Again at Locals was such a good fun time. But honestly, playing Highlander is something that I've wanted to do in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time, because it's another way to play the game. And Highlander, basically, what Highlander is, you have a 60 card deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to play 60 cards, in my personal opinion. This is my way of playing Highlander. Because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! You could choose to play 40 to 60 cards. But in your deck, you can only play one copy of each card. In your extra deck, main, side deck, and everything along those lines, you can only play one copy of each Yu-Gi-Oh! Card in your deck. So you want to play literally some random crazy stuff with like every kaiju, a Gizmek, Eater of Millions, a Trickstar engine, maybe a Predaplant engine, anything along those lines. You're only allowed to play one of each of those engine pieces, and that's kind of the interesting thing. And I really find that cool. You could be playing like Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon with like Cyber Dragon, Cyber Toon Dragon, Cyber Dragon Core, all these different Cyber Dragons, just in case your opponent has that monster in the extra monster zone, because that's the way you want to play it. And like there are obviously some ways to break this, like you're playing dumb cards like Hydralander, you're playing cards that really just abuse only having one copy of each card on the board. Like you could be playing so many different ways to play this, but it really is a cool way to play the game, because you would never expect what your opponent could have. Like your opponent could literally make a deck out of like 60 normal monsters and like have a couple of Pendulum normal monsters in there, play only Heart of the Underdog, and maybe play Exodia the Forbidden One. And if they draw that one Heart of the Underdog and all of the normal monsters, then you're like, yeah, Heart of the Underdog, draw Exodia. Like, that's cool. I really feel like it's interesting because yes, that's very luck and very luck-sacky, but it's really cool and really different, and that's kind of the thing I'm liking about that kind of way to play Highlander. It's not a normal way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the fun part about it. You can literally make your deck whatever you want it to be. Like, for instance, me, if I was to make a Highlander deck, I'll put, like, Kaijus in it, because, like, playing one of every Kaiju, I always have a boss monster. I'll play Hydralander in it, because of, big monster. I'll play Eater of Millions, because it's just a generically good one card. I'll play Gizmek because I can literally summon Gizmek anytime I want. Like the Highlander sort of way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really cool because it's just so different and interesting, because you never know what you're going to expect. And that's the fun part about it. You don't know what could happen. You don't know what your opponent could play. You don't know, because if it's a different way to play the game. So like that's my kind of thought about Highlander. It's a really cool way to play the game and a different way to play the game as well. So that's just one way. Another way to play normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Is obviously draft. Like just get some packs between all of you, get some packs between all of you, do sneak peeks, sneak peek random packs, just draft it as you would, and literally just say, this is what you have, hopefully you pull good, hopefully if you don't, you pull bad, and then you just play with what you got. That's a really fun way to play, and I've always loved playing sneak peeks because of this. And since Konami changed the way they do sneak peeks, it kind of upsets me, because like, you just buy a whole box, and that whole box equals your sneak kit. Now maybe you're only allowed to use 5 cards, I'm not too really sure about that, but nonetheless, I digress, because sneak peeks were one of the funnest things to do at Yu-Gi-Oh! For me. I always loved opening those 5 packs, playing the maybe 4 rounds of locals with those 5 packs. If I won, I won. If I lost, I lost. I didn't really care, because it was just a fun experience. Like I can remember so many different sneak peeks. I remember the one where Mystic Mine was released, the day in release. Like, I was the only one who didn't pull a secret rare that set. I didn't even pull Mystic Mine, but I played against the one person in our locals who pulled Mystic Mine, and I was like, yeah, I can't do anything, but I have more cards in my deck, so you lose. And it was just like really fun, because it's like, he activated Mystic Mine, but he had less cards than me, so can't really do anything. And I also remembered like a Solomon Great sealed structure deck tournament. Like, that's a little different to sealed play, but it's still sealed play, because it's like, You have a structure deck. You have to play with that structure deck. It's different. Well, that's not really draft, but you get what I mean. It's sealed play. And draft is basically one of those really cool things where you can literally just do at any point in time you wanted. Oh, you have like 20 quid to spare. Both of you have 20 quid. You go up to your account and you say, oh, can we buy 5 packs of, I don't know, right now, Ignition Assault, or maybe Eternity Code, or maybe just a mixture of both, and then you take those packs, or 5 different sets even. So Ignition Assault, Eternity Code, Dark Neostorm, LOB, and Dark Metal Raiders, and be like you make a deck out of those 5 different sets. Like that's something cool, because it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. You're not really gonna have synergy, but it's gonna be really interesting and really cool to kind of like do that sort of thing. So that's kind of like that's a different way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. That's a lot of fun. It's a great experience, and honestly, it's better than normal Yu-Gi-Oh by far, because there's no guaranteed bullshit. Sure, there can be bullcrap. There can be a lot of bullcrap that comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, you pulled that one busted card, you pulled the Mystic Mine, come on. But it doesn't matter, because it's just fun, and you're just doing it because, oh, I really enjoyed this sort of way to play the game, and it's a great way to play the game. And if you pull something busted, hey, that's just the icing on the cake, if you get what I mean. But yeah, so that's another way to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Another way you could play Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Traditional format. Man, traditional format is crazy, because you can play one of literally every card in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! You could play one Graceful Charity, Pot of Greed, Delinquent Duo, literally the 3 GOAT format cards, the Trinity. You could play Trap Dust Shoe, Royal Oppression, Vanity's Emptiness, Vanity's Emptiness. You could play Lavalval Chain, Firewall Dragon, what is it? Yatagarasu. You could play so many different things because of traditional. And the cool thing about traditional, which I've always kind of liked, and how Konami have actually done some tournaments for it in the past couple of years. That one back at the UK Nationals, I think was 3 years ago, where they gave away the Pot of Greed. And I kind of went up and realized that it was damaged, and that someone heard about it, and the price dropped. But nonetheless, and looking at it in a nutshell, it was just a lot of fun. It was just a lot of fun to watch, because like I still remember the finals of that tournament. I still remember the final game where literally the guy summoned was playing Troop Dupe Scoop, and he sets up 3 Totally Awesomes, and the opponent literally goes, Ross Fear Mode. He summoned Ross Fear Mode on 3 Totally Awesomes, and that's insane, because seeing stuff like that, it makes a dumb board. He made a really dumb board with 3 Totally Awesomes. He had like a Saruja and like some, I think like maybe 1 set card or something, because of he couldn't get to like there was a card that he couldn't get to. It was the card that lets you just keep burning your opponent, I believe. And he couldn't get to that, so he just ended on Triple Toad and a Saruja. He gets hit with the Ras Fear Mode, and then his opponent just kills him, because he goes into his crazy, crazy shenanigans in traditional format. And it's just like, it was really fun. Like, traditional format is really fun, because you get to see all these things. Now, is it the most busted crap on the world? 100% yes. It's so dumb. It's so insane. But it's a fun way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because all of these dumb cards are there to be dumb. They're there to be dumb. You're playing to have a dumb game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, you could literally play every draw card in the game if you really wanted to, and literally just go, I'm going to play Exodia, and we're going to see what happens. And that's the fun part. You get to play traditional. You get to play one of every card. You get to play ban cards. And you can make these really insane strategies that probably will never see the light of day again, but you'll get to play them nonetheless. So it's just like really cool stuff like that in traditional format as well, which is just a lot of fun. Now, you could always go the extra mile and say, I'm going to not play traditional, but I'm going to play literally no banlist format, where you play 3 of every card. But hey, if you go that far, then you're just looking for a nightmare incarnate, because you're seeing 3 Pot of Greed, 3 Graceful Charity, 3 Pot of Desires, 3 Pot of Extravagance, 3 of every draw card in the game, 3 Toon Tables. Like, it's just literally just Exodia format. You go first, you win. Hope you draw your Droll and Lockbirds. Am I right, boys? Yeah. But like that's another format you could play, free of every format, traditional format, like these formats that are really busted. And like there are other ways to play the game as well now, outside of these other ways to play the game. There are official ways to play the game now. One being speed duels, which is pretty much a Duel Links ripoff, where you have free monster zones, free spell and trap card zones, extra deck, main deck. You draw 4 cards and you draw 1 card each turn. And in this game, basically, what you do is you get play normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Just with 3 zones, 3 monsters, spell and trap card zones, 3 monster zones, and 4 cards in your hand. And you have a special skill effect, which is actually kind of interesting because there's a ton of different ones. There's one that if you take like half your life points, you get to add any card from your hand deck to your hand. There's Call of the Haunted. There's a Necro Valley one. There's all sorts of different skill cards in the game. I believe there's a Bandit Keefs one that allows you to return cards from your hand to the deck and take any kind of card from your deck. That switcheroo. Like there's a lot of different ways to play speed duels as well. Like speed duels is another really cool way. It's a lot slower as well. So if you're into slower Yu-Gi-Oh! And just not dealing with like Adamantipator, Elder Lich, all these really fast combo decks that just come out. Elder Lich more so being a crazy combo deck because Despots exist, but nonetheless, I'm still saying it. You could play that or you could play or Rush Duels even. Rush Duels is another new way to play the game that we haven't got in the TCG yet, but you can still play online. So if you wanted to play Rush Duels, you could play that form of Yu-Gi-Oh! And basically, Rush Duels is another really cool new way to play the game where you get to draw 5 cards every turn. You can summon as many monsters as you want every turn. Like, literally, you could summon your entire hand in a turn. Like, you draw 5 monsters. You want to tribute some of them. You want to summon them. Like, you could be like, oh, summon Sangan. Well, Sangan ain't in the game. Actually, no. You know what? The Karibo bot. Tribute those 7-star magician. Mill the top card. Hopefully, have multiple different attributes in your graveyard. Go ahead and attack the game. And if you don't kill them, then your opponent has a turn. They draw 5 cards themselves, and they can try and come back. So it's like Rush Duels is just another really cool way to play the game because like they've got so many different cards in the game. They've got so many. Well, they're getting more cards. They ain't got a huge pool. I would say they've probably got like maybe 300 cards in the pool now, but there's that way to play as well. There's other areas to play real Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, sure, that's something that you have to get more new cards for. For Rush Duels and Speed Duels, you have to buy cards that you most likely already own if you've been playing the game for a long time, which can be annoying, and that was the last video that I did talking about that. But you could play those 2 different things, Speed Duels and Rush Duels as well. And there's one other version of the game you could play as well that I find to be interesting if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player and you do have a huge collection, like if you have 3 of everything, or you have multiple play sets of cards, is a cubed format. Basically, all you really got to do to play a cubed format is you get yourself, your friends, and anyone else in your group, and you make a huge cube. All these cards, they can't go anywhere. They're just to be cubed in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Format. And what cube basically is, you have a collection of cards, and you can do this multiple ways. You can do it draft, so you give like a pile to everyone. One person takes a card from that pile, and they put that into their deck. You could be like, oh, you have access to 3 of each of this card, so if you want to play this card, you have 3 of each of it. So you have like 2 play sets if you want to do it between 2 people, and then that cube goes between, and then you play that cube with each other, try and build different decks through that cube. So you have like 1,000 cards in a cube, and then you triple that, so 3,000 to have, then you you times that by 6, so you have 6 play sets of each card. So those 3,000 cards are the cards in your cube. Those 3,000 cards are the cards in your cube, or 1,000 cards in the cards in your cube. So you could have literally make a cube of 1,000 cards. You can make a cube of 100 cards, like 100 balanced cards times that by 6. So you have 2 play sets of each. So you have 600 cards that you can make a deck with, and that's cool. That's kind of the cool thing, because you can make a cube between your friends. You can make a cube with yourself. You can really do that any way you want. So those are some ways to play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Those are some ways if you wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Yourselves, and you weren't sure what kind of way you wanted to play it, or you're just like, oh, I've been playing the normal style of Yu-Gi-Oh! For so long that you don't know if you want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! This way anymore, you could kind of like go to that route as well. These are just different ideas that I've had for myself to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like there's just so many different ways you can actually play the game when you really think about it. Seeing as you've got the normal way, you've got Pegasus Challenge, Highlander, Speed Duel, Rush Duel, Draft, Traditional, Cube. Like you've got so many different ways to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So Yeah, guys, tell me what your thoughts are on this video in the comment section below. Are you going to try any of these ways? Are you going to get together with some mates and play a Pegasus challenge? Give them like a stack of cards. Say, if during the standby phase, you declare what effect this is, and if it happens, I'm going to kill you. Because if you get that dark hole when I've built my board, well, you're going to die, mate. So yeah, that's just a cool video there, and I really think it's... that's just really cool in general. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been a really cool video to make, just talking about multiple different places to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Might even do some videos in these areas in the near future if I can get some mates together to play a cube or to play a draft or to play a speed duels, rush duels, or hell, even a Highlander where we get one of each card, 60 cards in the deck, or even a Pegasus challenge. I'd love to do a Pegasus challenge because I have never done one and I know it looks really cool. So yeah, but yeah, tell me your thoughts of these cards in the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next one. Please make sure you check out all the links in the description to my Yu-Gi-Oh team, Team Black Rose Dragons. We have the actual Yu-Gi-Oh page, actual website and Facebook page down there as well. If you want to support me, there is a link to my PayPal to support. It will help. Just go all of it goes to the channel to like upgrade it, update it, and everything along those lines. Currently trying to get a better PC to make so I can make better videos for all of you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Charmander says goodbye. Charmander! And I will see you guys in the next one. Robot1 signing out. Later all.